Welcome back, strongman and strong women fans, and a new video for me today from last week's Giants Live Deadlift Championships and Giants Live Open, which took place at the Most Point Arena in Cardiff. So it was the first time they've actually been in Wales for an event. We're 12 athletes, as you can see. They're all just running past you now. Mitchell Hooper, Ivan Makarov. We saw Pavlo Nakaneci, he obviously won. Graham Hicks from the UK. We also had Evan T-Rex Singleton. He was the reigning champion from last year's Open, who had quite an interesting entrance with some water effects. It's pretty random, to be honest. Then obviously Wales' strongest man, Gavin Bilton, who arguably had his best appearance for Giants Live today. He did incredibly well. Obviously Alexei Novikov, he's always there. We know he's a staple now, and obviously he made the podium. Rauner Heinler, the legend, which we're going to get to, who obviously won the deadlifts, didn't get the world record, but definitely set a new world record in the Masters. Then Chris van der Linde from South Africa. He was competing only in the deadlift, so he didn't actually do the rest of the events. Obviously, sadly, we had a few withdrawals. So obviously, Adam Bishop had to withdraw due to injury, who was replaced by Andy Black. We also had Shane Flowers stepping in very last minute. He was obviously replacing, it would have either been obviously Asco here or Gabriel Pena, because they both had to withdraw as well, unfortunately, prior to the actual competition. So again, for a second year, the bar was set at 5:05 as the new world record attempt, and obviously we had a few athletes who were able to basically try and get to that. Here's a list of everyone who got to 400. A couple athletes didn't, but also they chose not to as well. So Gavin Bilton, showing him first, he got his 400 kilos, no problem whatsoever. For him, he had a fantastic night, setting a new Welsh record, and obviously setting it in Wales as well, in front of a live audience, from his home country. Was electrifying for him, obviously, and obviously definitely felt obviously more special for him. And I would say he definitely got the biggest celebrations and support from the audience that night, naturally, because it's their fellow Welshman. The Georgian Ivan Makarov here, just seeing he didn't actually get his first attempt because there was an issue with his suit. He didn't have the movement and flexibility, so he was really restricted. So obviously they had to adjust that for him in his later attempts. So he obviously didn't actually make that one, but was allowed to continue because they knew that he could lift. Well, they know from past experience that he can lift over 450, so they naturally wanted him to not, to be disqualified or forfeit. So he was given a second opportunity after that. Here's Shane Flowers, despite having no prep time and recovering from his injury from World's Strongest Man, still pulled a nice 400 kilos. And, to come just like that with no prep was still fantastic. So as I said, 400 kilos was the opening weight, and we then went on to 425.5, and here are the results here. Obviously, not everyone made it, unfortunately, but the majority of the athletes did get some nice lifts, very easy lifts in here. So here's Gavin Bilton again, obviously setting that Welsh record. A very comfortable looking lift as well, no issue whatsoever him whatsoever. So well done to Gavin, very proud of you, mate. Very impressive, and it's a shame he didn't obviously get any higher than that, but he did have a very good attempt. So here we've got obviously Chris from South Africa. So interesting technique, very wide grip, kind of like a snatch almost, but lifted that up no problem whatsoever. Then obviously got Mitchell Hooper from Canada, and just edit in here. So I posted on a few groups on Facebook about the booing thing, and obviously was later told that it wasn't, it was Moose, but it definitely sounded like and booze, for sure, from my perspective. This weight was set at 453.6 kilos, and as you can see here from the results, only 4 athletes managed to actually get that weight successfully. So here we are with Graham Hicks, who actually set himself a personal best of more than 50 kilos, joining the 1,000-pound club for the first time in competition or in training at home. So, at the gym. So obviously congratulations to Graham, absolutely amazing, mate. He obviously the winner of the competition, Pavlo, lifted that no problem. As we know, he's a powerlifting champion, so we were expecting good things from him last year and also this year. And obviously again, here's Mitchell's attempt here. Obviously he had to hitch it more opposed to Pavlo's attempt, but nonetheless still lifted it. And may I add, Mitchell and Pavlo are only 25. Incredibly powerful and strong athletes for their age, and really impressive to see just how well they were doing for their debut. Well, essentially their debut events. The pair of them have barely competed. They've only done a handful of competitions. So anyway, on to the man of the night, Rauner Heinler. So Rauno was the only one who actually attempted this lift at 476 kilos, and he actually set a brand new Masters record because obviously he's 40 and above. So as you saw, that lift was so smooth, so fast, so easy for him. You know, he easily had more in the tank, but because he wanted to compete afterwards for the other events, he naturally held back. Here we've got Mitchell Hooper actually going for an attempt, and you know, to be fair, he gets it to the knees but just can't get it above them. So fantastic effort, but nonetheless he wasn't able to do it. So Ivan, as you see, he actually skipped the 476 and went straight for 505. He just wanted to save the energy, and like last year when he attempted it, who was the closest before, he got it to the knees, but he just can't seem to get above those knees and knock out, and it's really unfortunate. As a result, Rauno won the event with the highest events. Pavlo came after him, obviously Graham Hicks, Mitchell, all tying, and Ivan as well. So after almost 2 hours of the first event, we actually got on to our second event, which was the farmers carry and loading medley. So the athletes had to race against one another. You see here, Pavlo actually won, Mitchell Hooper second, and Evan third. So what they had to do was carry a 150 kilo hunk of steel in each hand, followed by a 120 kilo keg, 120 kilo sack, and then finally a 115 kilo tire thrown into the skip. So as you can see here, we've got Mitchell Hooper and Graham Hicks. Obviously showing you this one because Mitchell took second to Pavlo but wasn't too far behind him. Obviously guys, because you know it's getting really strict on YouTube now with copyright, it's so difficult to make videos. I'm able to show you less and less. Obviously I'd never shown too much anyway because it's unfair to the organisations that put the shows on together, and I pay to watch them. So I have a membership with Official Strongman and whatnot. So I'm only going to use what is fair use. Obviously, if you want to continue to support my channel, if you keep subscribing and allow me to grow to a point where I have more involvement with them, with Giants Live in particular, and World's Strongest Man, I'll be able to put my videos up and have no restrictions. I hope, fingers crossed. So anyway, now we're to Pavlo and Evan Singleton. So great head-to-head between these two. Evan is a really good athlete at this, really fast at moving, but Pavlo surprisingly was super fast for a man of his size. I mean, obviously he's young, so he's fit, but I did not think he would move this well. And to be honest with you, I thought he was just a one-trick pony with powerlifting, you know, really strong deadlifter, not really much else, a bit like Ivan, but he really proved himself. So like fantastic with like moving events, other static events, like in general, he was a good all-rounder. So congratulations to Pavlo. There are the scores again. As you can see, very close for the top 3 spots there. Just one thing to note as well, despite Evan's really good result taking third, he actually had to retire from the competition because he's feeling unwell. And I believe it's something to do with his blood pressure. And I don't think he's very well, and I think he's keeping something under wraps because he keeps having to withdraw from competitions midway. So something's not quite right there. But apparently after on his social media, he was fine. Pa Dwyer also withdrew after this event. Don't know why. And Ivan Makarov as well. So of those 3 withdrawals, we actually only had 8 men left in the competition. So obviously that changed things up considerably. And here is the results from event 3, which are the log press for reps at 150 kilos. Mitchell Hooper took first place with 8 reps, only one ahead of everyone else who was in the top 2 and 3. But nonetheless, it was a valiant effort. Really impressive to see from the Canadian. Here's Novikov, who actually had to go against himself, obviously because due to the withdrawals, but got a very respectable 7 reps. And to be fair, this normally would place him higher, but someone like Mitchell just taking over the 8th rep. If obviously Luke Stoltman had been there, it might have been a different story. I think maybe he would, well, I don't think maybe, I'm pretty sure he would have won this, easily got 9, and if pushed, probably 10. But nonetheless, for anyone to even press this once, it's impressive. Not many people can press 60 kilos over the head, let alone 150 kilos, 4 reps, and with a log as well, which is just different type of equipment or implement, as Americans call it. And yeah, it's just obviously far more technical. There's obviously allowed a lot of leg drive, so that helps. It's not all shoulder power. If you've got strong legs and back, this will help you considerably. But great effort from Novikov. Was really pleased to see him doing well. He did well overall. You know, ultimately he didn't underperform. He just didn't do as well as previous comps, and you know, obviously he won the Strongman Classic again, and he's been back to back competing, so you know his body's pretty taxed, but because he's young and got this sort of Superman energy, he just keeps going back and still had a great run. So obviously now we've got obviously Pavlo against Mitchell again. So obviously these two kept being paired together, which I think was great because it was pushing them to both perform, you know, at their best, because the competition between them was very fierce. You know, the points at the end you'll see is very close, and naturally as a result we saw a great little battle between the two in quite a few comps, actually. Quite a few events. So this was great to see. Pavlo is a strong presser. I don't think he is as good as Mitchell Hooper, but nonetheless, he still performed very well, and it's room for improvement with him. Like I said, I thought he was all more pulling power, but you can see he's a bit of a powerhouse, and he's got great pushing power as well. Mitchell Hooper, when we get to the 8th rep, has a bit of an issue. He actually falls with it. I thought he passed out. I don't know what happens, kind of if it's losing balance or something, but he definitely, you'll see, gets thrown forward with it, but gets up, is laughing, and seems fine. So luckily there was no major injuries there. But you see here, he just goes, he literally goes with the log. So it's a bit concerning initially, but we see in a moment that everything's fine, and he wasn't hurt, and all good. So well done to Mitchell winning that event, and obviously also to Pavlo for getting a great score overall from it, and you know, keeping up with Mitch. But yeah, so Mitch, as you saw, took the lead, got some valuable points as a result, and then we moved on to event 4. So this was the hammer hold, and the guys had to hold a 30-kilo hammer at shoulder height with arms locked out and straight for as long as possible. Here are the results here. Mitchell Hooper won again, and Graham Hicks very, very impressively with a 2nd place spot after that. Just showing Gavin Bilton here. He had a good run, and also randomly he was wearing sunglasses. I don't know why. Maybe he thought he was in world's strongest man territory again, but nonetheless it was quite funny and interesting from him. But here's obviously Graham with him. As I've said, you know, I'm going to show you the ones that I thought were of most interest, particularly the guys who performed top 3. That's how I make these videos usually. And like I mentioned, Graham got an impressive time of 50.82 seconds, taking him to 2nd place, which was great for him. He was having a great night, you know, and he joked like midway that, you know, I'm still standing, I'm not injured, so this is a great run for me. I've hit 1,000 pounds of deadlift, you know, I've done well in most events, and he's not hurt, so that's the main thing. You know, the guys don't want to get hurt, so it's good to see him doing so well, performing at his best, probably one of the best I've seen him for a long time. And I was pleased that he didn't obviously get an injury and have to withdraw, or just, you know, affect him mentally. He was strong and happy and confident. So here we've got Novikov going up against I believe Hooper, sorry. And as I mentioned, Hooper took the 1st place spot, absolutely smashed it. And you know, for a rookie, by the way, remember guys that this guy was invited to World's Strongest Man because of JF Caron's injury from the Arnolds. So he was a rookie, and he's a good opportunity to shine. And you know, he's being coached, I think, by Big Loz, and he's got other people involved, the young Canadian. And you know, this man has shown real promise. He made podium for his first Giant Live appearance. Flew away from Canada, you know, so obviously that's going to be a factor as well, you know, different time zone and whatnot, and absolutely smashed it. And obviously beat Novikov. Like, Novikov's someone who beats everyone. I don't think Novikov was on, he wasn't firing all cylinders. It was his best night, but obviously he still did fantastic. He made podium. So anyway, the last event, the Castle Stones. So going into the finals, Hooper was actually in 1st place. So, you know, there's a massive fight at top spot. And as you can see here, Pavlo actually won the Castle Stones, with Gavin actually coming 2nd, which was absolutely incredible from him. It's the best I've ever seen him perform, I'd say, like I said earlier in the video, for a Giants Live night. Absolutely incredible. He's really improved with his stones and other events as well. And again, for him, he didn't have to withdraw due to illness or injury. He had a good night, was on top form. And, you know, I think definitely being in Wales is a massive factor. Yes, Tom Stockman wasn't there. Yes, a couple other good stone lifters weren't there as well. But overall, the guy smashed it. It's an incredible time. And, you know, if it weren't for Pavlo's unbelievable time, which is close to Tom Stockman's record, by the way, you know, we might have seen him taking that 1st place spot if Pavlo wasn't there and Tom wasn't there. I think, you know, Gavin would have won that event unless someone else was on form that night. So unfortunately for Mitch Hooper, as he didn't perform very well here, he actually ended up losing vital points to Pavlo, and as a result lost to him and taking the second place spot on the podium. But sorry, just a quick correction, it's his second podium appearance for Mitchell Hooper. So congratulations to Mitchell and to Pavlo. And just mention Shane Flowers here, he did a very respectable time and actually took the 4th place spot, as you'll see here, after Novikov. So really good stone run for the top 3 and 4 there. So well done, chaps. And just a massive congratulations to Pavlo, because he absolutely smashed it. I mean, look at the difference between him and Novikov. Quite a significant lead, I'd say. So well done to Pavlo, but also Mitchell to you know, really put Pavlo under pressure. It was a great comp. Obviously, it could have been very different as some people hadn't withdrawn and others were in attendance. But as we know, we're not going to talk about what ifs and what could have been. We saw what we saw, and it was a fantastic night. You know, just want to say huge congratulations to Rauno Heinler. You know, this man at 40 years old is putting people 15 years or 10, 15 years younger than him to shame. Absolutely dominated the deadlift. You know, this man easily has over 500 kilos in him, and for his size, you know, he's not super heavyweight, he's nowhere near 200 kilos, and he's also 40, so he's not in his prime. You know, he's lifting that sort of weight with that speed and still went on to compete in the other events. What other men can do that? So massive respect to Rauno. I hope, you know, we can see something bigger from you in the future if it doesn't injure you or kill you. It'd be great to see you doing some big things for deadlifts, but who knows what's going to happen. So congratulations to him, and obviously congratulations to the guys who made the top 3 spot on the podium. This has been definitely one of my most favourite Giants Live this year to watch, to make a video on and discuss. Obviously great exciting things coming from these 3 young men here, all under 30 and completely dominating the sport. Pavlo and Mitchell in particular, there's some big things to come, and obviously now as a result, all 3 of them got an automatic invitation to World's Strongest Man 2023. So I'd like to see what happens there, and if Pavlo actually attends. And I think for him, he will. He wants to prove himself. He wants to be a champion. He wants to show I'm the new dog in town. And so does Mitchell. Mitchell's already had a taste of what it's like a World's Strongest Man, and there's more to come. So congratulations, guys. So obviously the final show is the World Tour Finals coming October. So obviously here are the athletes here that have been confirmed at present. As we know, that can change due to injury or whatnot. It's going to be held in Glasgow, Scotland, so it's the final one. Always a great way to finish the tour for the Giants Live. So really look forward to this one, and hopefully all the athletes you're seeing here will be competing and there won't be any major changes up there, but we shall see, because like I said, things always change in this sport. So yeah, quite a lot of cool athletes from around the world all competing, so I'm really excited for this one. And again, it's on home soil in the UK, so who knows, maybe I'll be able to make an appearance. Also before that, on the 13th and 14th of August, so tomorrow, this weekend, we have got the Shore Classic. Unfortunately, Tom Stoltman has just withdrawn, so now that reduced it down to 15 athletes out of the 16. It's too short notice for someone else to step in now, unfortunately. So Brian Shaw posted it. It's impossible for us to do that. So Tom has his reasons. Luke's made a video on it on Instagram, saying to do with autism. The reason, I haven't watched it, but whatever the reason is, it's his choice. You know, if he doesn't want to compete, he doesn't want to compete. He doesn't need to prove himself. He's the world's strongest man back to back. So I don't think he's really bothered. No disrespect to Brian, obviously, but these are the athletes. Again, hopefully nothing changes by tomorrow, but they're all looking on top form. Really excited for it. I'll do my best to make a video on it if I can, if it's not too restricted, but I will definitely watching it, and I recommend you guys do it. Go on Brian Shaw's Instagram page. You'll be able to pay for the pay-per-view and you'll be able to watch it. So anyway, guys, if you liked today's video, as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Congratulations, Pavlo. Looking forward to seeing what you get up to in the future. Really hope you're at World's Strongest Man 2023. But anyway, guys, take care, and I'll see you all soon. Amigo and Finis, signing out.